Greetings, greetings. Sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. Hold on, let me get some water in a wine glass. So I wanted to come on and give you all a quick shout out. So I have not been online as much. I have been in the garden for some days now, getting so much planted. So just pulling some of the tomatoes from tomatoes that we've grown so I could capture the seeds. Lots of fresh kale, 100 and something, if not almost 200 kale in the ground. So to make sure that they make it to grow into full adulthood. Let's see, what else? I've been like fertilizing the soil, trimming off the tomatoes, start a new adjunct, which I see the aloes need more shielding from the sun. So basically, I have been out in the garden. So that's why these nails with the garden manicure, I can never do the dragon nails. So, and anyway, this is Body-Culinary. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On this channel, I share my journey of radical self-acceptance. For those of you folks that may have very fine hair, especially if you have very afro textured fine hair that knocks and kinks and doesn't do what everybody else here does, and very, very fine kinky hair. I also share motivation and encouragement to start a garden for so many reasons. Encouragement to start or pick back up or refine, tweak your personal movement practice for so many different benefits, and also encouragement for peaceful consumption. Right, so I'm not attached to the labels. I'm not there with you. I encourage you more so than following me to embrace any kind of principles that may resonate with you, and to, as a coach, personal trainer, somebody that's competed, also as a professional chef, been working in the industry for many years, I encourage you to find your sweet spot, right? That's bigger than the label, and not to guilt or shame yourself. We have more than enough things too much stuff put on us as people, especially as Afro women. We don't need one more thing. I'm not the hair police. I'm not the food police. Your results will say it all. So I can give 2 peach pits if you call yourself vegan, raw foodist, protein this, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, greetings, you'll have to find your sweet spot. I don't think that there's any way around that process. And that's going to require some experimentation, some courage, also taking on full responsibility for wherever your body is. You know, I could definitely tell you as a personal trainer, some folks that get injured, a lot of times they might say it's the trainer. Well, sometimes that could be. But ultimately, what are you allowing? What are you exposing yourself to? Are you using your common sense? Are you taking responsibility for the fact that you may have perhaps allowed yourself to become deconditioned, right? Are you just skating past process and try to jump into everything really quickly and not respect your body and where your body is at? So in it for the long haul, right? We want to be jumping double dutch and roller skating and having fun into our 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even as centenarians. So I share a natural lifestyle here, and if that's what you're interested in, stay tuned. Subscribe, like, share. There are several workshops and classes that are coming up, so do go on over to the website body-culinary.com so that you can be, if you'd like to be notified of classes, of the Cocoon, which is a personal going in. That's like, I'm ready to do a complete overhaul. I need some coaching. That's in the wee hours. Hit It and Quit It is at 6:15 in the morning, my time. So you may have to adjust your clocks. And there's also lunchtime workshops, common sense nutrition, and efficient fitness. I'm not concerned about the labels. We're concerned about results, finding your sweet spot and what's going to be sustainable. So that's what we're doing over here. So people ask, I just wanted to share a couple of things, very, very simple things you can do. I'm someone that has had a lot, I mean a lot of acne, scarring. So I like to be very protective of my body temple, my organs, not just the outside and the muscle, right? I'm very aware of preserving my beauty, and beauty to me is health, right? You cannot have beauty without health. Otherwise, we just have a mask on. You know, and be as creative as you like. I ain't here to tell grown folks what to do. But if someone has had a tremendous amount of scarring, I like it that I can not have anything on my skin. And I know that may not be popular, But that's very important to me. That's a big part of my esteem, because I know what it's like to have to feel like you have to put makeup on because you might be embarrassed. You know, I worked in the fitness industry. Here I am, this fitness competitor, looking all ripped, and as a top trainer at like a high-end gym, and my skin was looking jacked up. To most people, whether I like it or not, that looks like a contradiction. So we do know that we're judged by other people, but not even with the other judgment. That's like a something is off, right? If we just press pause on the judgment, something is off. And more so than off, I invite you to consider your body's communicating with you all the time. Your hair, your skin, your nails, they're trying to tell you something. Your body's trying to tell you something. And sometimes we may be moving so fast and so much in our head, we're not picking up the messages. So if your skin is breaking out in a lot of acne, that's telling you something about your liver and your colon. You know, maybe we don't have to be accountable for everything we put in here, but that's not how it works. Due to the nature of eating while with child, actually, yes, I am pre-postnatal certified. So yeah, maybe that'll be another workshop, because there's so much stuff on the queue. I can only keep up with so much, and I've spent 4 days straight inside the garden. But there's so much to be said for eating with child. We definitely know straight off the bat you're going to be consuming more, but we got to be careful, because many women use that as an excuse to just go for broke, right? Instead of identifying the nutrients that we're craving and use it maybe perhaps and not being well informed, and just start eating on any old thing. And our bodies are going through a tremendous rites of passage. We'll pack on a lot of pounds. And if you haven't had children before, it can become very challenging and may seemingly be impossible to get your pre-body back. It's not going to be the same. Your hormones are going to change. That can also be a big contributor to postpartum depression. So comprehensive education and support works, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. So today I just wanted to touch on, I was just out in the garden, and there's a couple of things that I just pulled from the garden. Well, these are plantains that came from my tree. We also have a big bunch of bananas that just came off the tree. So these are nice and ripe. And then I just pulled a bunch of, which I've talked about before, I just pulled some fresh cerasee. So many of us may not, unless you've grown up in the Caribbean, may not be used to the fresh cerasee. So I prefer not to boil this. I love living foods, right? The medicine is concentrated. I find you don't even need as much of it. So I just pulled this out of my yard. I also just pulled some Swiss chard, right? And then I also pulled some okra, right? Some people either like okra or you don't. And then also I just pulled some, ooh, child, it smells so good, some fresh sage and some fresh lemon basil. So I've got several different varieties. See, these things make me happy. I have several different varieties of basil inside of the garden. I've got cinnamon, I've got lemon, I've got Thai, I've got holy basil, which is also really good for depression. All of these things I'm pulling right out of my yard. So you know the vision over here, AFROLOCS. And by the way, you're always welcome to comment respectfully in the comment section. Folks come to this channel from all different kinds of packaging. So respect is the maximum and the minimum over here. I could care less. I'm going to share my Grandma Lou and my culture, whatever. And I'm open to positive exchange over here. That's what we're all about. So just know, come over here and enjoy whatever the offering is. So these are things when I think of break fast. These are things that I would use for break fast, right? I'm not clogged. I'm a big eater. There's a lot of obesity and a history of morbid obesity in terms of patterns, right? And we can pass certain things down in our genes, but there's also genetic expression. Kind of think of it like this. Your body's like a trillion cells, if not a little bit more than a trillion. And these are living being organisms. They eat and they poop and they excrete waste, right? And they're bathing inside fluid, right? So I love to think in pictures because it can help light bulbs go off. So what kinds of fluid are your cells bathed in? Are they bathed in Coca-Cola or acid from all the recreational eating we're doing and substances masquerading as food? So what's the quality of your water? So I talk a lot about living water. People always ask me, what do I mean by living water? You're a living, breathing organism. So what's the quality of your water? And you have different watery channels inside of the body. So I'm not going to give you information overload. But all of these things I've just picked, right? They have fresh living water. And if we want beautiful skin, I get it. I get it. I'm simple on this channel. I'm not into pills, powders. I've done everything to clear up my skin. Even all the products at the health food store did not clear up my skin. This is what cleared up my skin. So whatever's working for you, whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods. Some of us, our palates may not be used to it. So this is one of the reasons I encourage everyone to start a garden. Even if you're in the cold, everyone can grow something. So do go on over to the website and subscribe so you can be informed of when I'm doing gardening live workshops. It's so much. I just have to plug everything where I can do it so I don't overwhelm myself because I'm only one person. So these are things that I will blend, and I'm big into bitters. Bitters for me are a food group. So this is something, it's not the most bitter, but these bitter foods, they have a purpose. Parasites don't like them. They pack their bags and they start heading south. Also, you're really trying to put your taste buds in check. And I've had people tell me, I go, oh, I need something. I want an appetite suppressant. I want to diet. I'm not dieting over here. I can't. It's not sustainable. So bitters, I do respect them as a food group. And a lot of us run from the bitters. And this is also your movement practice, and your food is also, some people say metaphysically, but in a practical sense, they're an analogy for life. Are you able to take your bitters? It's not a punishment to yourself, but there's a reason that part of your taste buds exists, right? Everything in life is not sweet. And if you're only craving sugar, that should tell you something that's not balanced. If we've wired and we're hardwired to only want sugar, or processed sugar, salt, fat. So without putting labels on yourself or condemning yourself, touch your midsection, grab there's a lot of adipose tissue, which over here we know is a technical term for fatty tissue. Do we have extra waist on the waistline? And then, by the way, over here, my Afro flowers, my waist speed awareness and waist training. I have put, they're only made, custom made, one at a time. They're made in the spirit, waist beads. And more so, it's adornment, but it's also for awareness of your waist. So more so than weight loss, I invite you, because I don't tell grown folks what to do. I invite you to try on waist release. Your body is so highly intelligent. It knows what to do when we just get off the, how can I say, detox to retox. Detox to retox. To spend all this money. Sometimes we're just playing mind games with ourselves. So the bitters I will have first. And then I will blend greens with filtered water. And I will put some lime. If I don't have lime, I can take it straight Cersei. If you're finding this inside of the city, you can usually find it inside some of the grocers or the fruit and vegetable stands that carry Caribbean products. Maybe if you're lucky, some Caribbean folks that can get you some. Because Caribbean folks be throwing that stuff in their suitcase and bringing you some fresh, or you can just get it from the fruit and vegetable stand. And then also chia seeds. Now over here, there's all kinds of delectables that I can make and treats and stuff like that. But early in the day, we don't need all of these heavy foods. You want pretty skin? You want something that's good for your brain? See, this is the food, whole food, right? I can still recognize it as a food, right? So now enter the mind of Coach Guasa. Enter the mind of Body-Culinary. When I'm saying whole food, I can still recognize it as a food, right? And also as I'm handling my own food, I get to see how the food is behaving. This is a whole nother level of information you may not get if you're not handling your own food. So at some point, maybe sometimes you'll eat out, right? But the majority of our food, we want to be preparing ourselves, right? So much information that you have when you're putting your hands in your own food. Oh, yes, Cersei. Shout out to one Karen and Mizrael 61 greetings. And as always, uniquely beautiful. So chia seeds are a staple. So I'm just going to tell you what we're doing over here. If you don't mind, I'm going to share it with you. I invite you to try it on the sides. What do you have to lose? You might even have a whole bunch of stuff. Like I know most clients have exercise equipment that they're not using. Got all kinds of stuff they've got on their wedding registry or blenders, juicers, and those moments of momentary enthusiasm and are not using them. Why? Dust them off. So, chia seed, you might have spent a whole lot of money on supplements or foods and stuff that you're not using. So chia seeds are so good for your brain, right? A lot of times we think about the skin and our butt and the breast. So let me ask you a question, trivia, body culinary trivia. What is the control center? Where's the control center? That's part one. And number two, when you take a hit of, some people might say poison, or substances that are recreational, no nutritional value, it got flavor up the wooza. If you're taking in something poisonous, what's gonna get the hit first? Somebody tell me, anybody. Your brain. So if you think your brain is a control center, it's telling your body where to store the fat. It's controlling your peristalsis, your fat storage, or your adipose tissue storage, energy level. How many folks are considering your brain? So we're talking about beauty. Beauty is health. If you're not eating for your brain, are you eating stuff that are taxing your motor skills? I don't know about you. I ain't here to tell grown folks what to do. But if I can't walk straight, that's giving me a clue. Anything that's drying me out, most of the brain, as this organ inside of the skull, is fatty tissue. Now, it's not all kinds of fat, right? There are different types of fats. So this is a natural type of fat, and this is something you can use that is, it's not heavy, it's very easy to digest, and also can give you a feeling of fullness and satiation, right? So many of us have a sugar tooth. We say we have a sweet tooth. Which tooth? But many of us have a fixation on sugar. And I have observed, what I say is not necessarily the truth, if it doesn't resonate, leave it right here. A lot of us are eating, I would say, are consuming out of emotional triggers. And I don't think we even realize the magnitude to which we are triggered all day. I call it a state of triggeration. And so we're beating up on ourselves, right? Which doesn't work. That's going to come through the back door. It's going to hit you through the back door. When you're beating up on yourself, more than likely, then subconscious, there's guilt, and then there's shame. And that will usually result in us eating even more to take the edge off. We have stress, and we have guilt, and we have shame. It just makes you want to eat more cartons of ice cream and so on. So I invite you to try and emphasize just looking at it from another perspective. If you're satiated, I could offer you the most delectable, beautiful living foods cake or delicious cake, and you'll be like, I can't, I'm full. I'm really, really not hungry. So I'm not going to overwhelm you with too much information, but I invite you to consider that as a meditation for today. When you're so satiated and satiated at a cellular level, I could offer you the most delectable food. And if you're not hungry, you're not going to want to eat it. And if you did, what is that saying emotionally and psychologically? Our emotional, mental fixation on food, even healthy food, and substances masquerading as food. Now, I highly doubt you will overeat chard and okra, and these are all beautifying foods, and cerasee. And you don't need a lot of this when it's concentrated, when it's high quality food. So these are some of the things that I have to break fast because they're not heavy. It's not a lot of starch. It's not starch devoid of nutrients. There's a lot of fiber. This is also very soothing to my insides. It's easy, and it's not stimulating me to eat more than I need, right? So I'm just going to leave you with that. You're welcome to replay this because I could go on and on and on, and I'm not going to do it. I'm getting better with that because I'm so passionate. I'm going on and on. You want pretty skin? Are you nourishing your brain and your organs so they can function, churn out, do the cell turnover so that your body, it knows what to do? Are you giving it the space so it can shine through like healthy? Or you bogging it down emotionally because we're so fixated on certain substances and colorings and crunch, which goes into a lot of the emotions to how we're eating, the crunch. And then they sugar, salt, fat, crunch, and all this heavy cream, right? So we're not going to demonize food. I invite you to just try that on for size. But these are some of the things that I just pulled, right? That's number one principle from my own yard. So in Afro Flowers and Flowernomics, Afronomics, the vision is over 1 million women. Everything that we need is in the yard. And shout out to Bernice if she comes on and comes on here later, because I saw she shared pictures of her garden. Oh, so proud of her. She's doing so fantastic. So I love to hear about what you all are doing. Feel free to share. I also post on Instagram, on TikTok. TikTok, I'm Kwasa with a K, peaceful, like full belly. Full belly. Kwasa, peaceful eating. Do feel free, if you're not able to get to me immediately for workshops, to download Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget. So that part is not the recipe book, but that is my guide and my insight of over 30 years of experience, right? Over 11 years as a whole living foodist. Some people call it raw vegan. I like to focus on whole living foods and then not so much the labels, but have been eating healthy and on a fitness journey for over 3 decades, from fitness competing, hot yoga, Ashtanga yoga, weight training. It's been such a journey, which is why I invite you to be responsible for your own experimentation. Be wary and to listen. There's something else that you can't totally get in from people. I can be a catalyst for growth, but a lot of times we're not tuning in to really listen, right? So I invite you to tap into that listening. There's a playlist on this channel, relaxation. So that's part of a little taste of what we do in the cocoon, but they're relaxation videos so you can start to listen to your cravings, right? Slow down with the judgment and the condemnation, judgment in the sense of condemnation, and listen to what your emotions and to what your cravings and what your body's communicating to you. Slow down. Listen to what your acne is telling you. Listen to what your adipose tissue or the waste that's stored on your waistline, what is it communicating to you, if that makes sense? So subscribe to the mailing list, bodyculinary.com. There's a puppet series on this channel. 9 to 10 free episodes, Sister Butterfly and Sister Monkey Learn to Eat Better. I'm sure you'll be cracking up. It's clean enough for children to watch, but check out Sister Butterfly and Sister Monkey. Very, very practical. You're gonna find a lot of surprise there. So that playlist is also on this channel. So many resources. Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget, with different types of budgets for fresh, whole, unprocessed foods. Nothing is in a can over there. This is a lifestyle. So there are different ideas for different budgets of what you'll shop for and what you'll get with those different lists, as well as a lot of my insight as to how I came from being a junk food junkie, eating every candy bar, barbecue, corn chips, potato chips, you name it. I mean, it's lucky I'm not 300 pounds there. And that's been the legacy of a lot of the women in my family. So I knew that was coming from me. So that laser guide is there, as well as Natural Beauty No Products, how I cleared my skin by putting whole living fresh fruits and vegetables inside and then throwing away my shower caddy and putting it onto inside first and then onto my hair and my skin. That's what I'm doing. Some people might think that is too simple, but I'm telling you the truth. You know, I'm not the makeup police. If you want to play and express, knock yourself out. Find your sweet spot. But it's also a wonderful part of the journey of being able to sit and relax. I prioritize being able to feel comfortable in your skin. So you feel like you can relax if you don't have nail polish, fingernail polish, makeup. If you don't have this on, can you sit with yourself in peace? That's a big key, is the stress and the pressure. The pressure is the health. That's the beauty. So I'm inviting y'all to create a great day on purpose. And check out the community section, because I also post a lot of stuff there. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you started your garden? And what have you implemented any of these things? You know, the chia seed, chard. Some people may not be eating chard. Cerasee, okra, fresh sage. Ooh. And for this variety of basil is fresh lemon basil. So this stuff is fun. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, see you soon. And make sure you subscribe and share with somebody that could use some inspiration and support.